like a Hellcat.
Hey, it's Liz, Mama2Crazy5, and today I am going over a how-to on my application, how I do my dip powder nails, along with doing a product review on Cali Girl nail dips. Today I'll be using I'm a Big Teal, which is a really pretty teal with a subtle shimmer. I'll also be using the Infinity and Beyond Duo set, the solid and the glitter. The solid is a very, very light baby blue, and the glitter has flakes and foils of light blue, teal, and clear. I'll also be using vintage rose to add depth and dimension to the marbling that I'll be doing. I'll be using my Cali Girl duster brush, which is very soft and very cute. And I will also be using my UNT Peel Off Base Coat, which I have already applied 2 coats of. And I'm using the brand new liquids from Cali Girl Nail Dips as well. So step 2, the base. So whenever you're applying your base, it's a matter of whether or not you need to build up your apex. So I use full coverage tips with builder gel, so I kind of already have a generic yet natural apex. But if you need to build up your apex, you would do a 3/4 dip first, and then a half dip, and then a full dip. But since I don't need to, I am going all the way from cuticle to free edge, applying a thin layer of base, covering the entire nail. And then I'm going to dip into the Infinity and Beyond Solid. Tap off the excess, and then I will be going around my cuticle line with my toothpick, just to make sure that we get that clean, crisp line. And yes, I messed up my cuticle line right there, but that wasn't due to the powder or the liquid's error. That was from UNT Peel Off Base Coat being applied too closely to the cuticle. So it just kind of grabbed onto the toothpick and took some of the product with it. But that's something that can be covered up with a second coat, as you'll see. So I'm going in with a second coat, covering cuticle to free edge, and then we're going to dip again. And I do 3 coats of this. So today I'm doing the product review for Cali Girl nail dips. So Cali Girl nail dips, I discovered her not too long ago. I want to say it was probably about 5 months ago I discovered her product, and I placed my order, and I loved the products that I received. So then a couple months later after that, I wanted to go place another order, and then I had been making a couple YouTube videos. And so I reached out to her before I placed my next order and told her, look, I'm going to place another order, and I would like to do a YouTube video featuring just your products. So real quick, all I'm doing here is I'm cleaning up the product that got on my skin at the cuticle line. And as you can see, I'm just grabbing the product. I'm not taking any of my skin. I'm not taking any of my cuticle. All that stuff was done. My prep work was done. I had pushed back my cuticles. I had buffed the nail bed of the tip that I have on, and I had applied 2 coats of peel off base coat. So it was already prepped. I'm not taking anything else. I just took some of the product that absorbed. What? Okay. Sorry. I'm at home doing my voiceover today, and of course I have 5 kids, so it's bound to happen. So yeah. Alright, so that's the 3rd coat of the Infinity and Beyond Solid. Now back to Cali Girl. So whenever I reached out to her and told her I wanted to do a YouTube video featuring exclusively her products, she was elated. She was so excited. And I mentioned something about if she were to be interested in doing a product review package for me. And she was more than generous. She was so sweet. She offered to provide all these samples, and I received them all, and I loved every single one of them. And so I have been, during that conversation, she actually asked me for my Instagram handle and my YouTube page, and I gave her the information, and I'm assuming she did some quick research, because within the same conversation, she actually asked me to be her ambassador. And so we discussed it a couple times over the course of a couple days, And sure enough, we both decided that it would be something that would be good for me and for her. And so I've loved it. I've loved it ever since. I've only been her ambassador for about almost 2 months now, and I've loved every minute of it. She's such a sweet lady. She is so hardworking and loves what she does, and you can tell in the product that you receive that she loves creating it. So, real quick, right now I'm going in with the I'm a Big Teal, and I'm doing the same process as I did with my thumb, just cuticle to free edge with a thin layer of base. You want to make sure it's thin and even. That way, whenever you dip, the product that adheres also is thin and even. And the thinner the application and the more even the application, the easier the file time. Okay, so if you try and do thick layers or bulky, then that's what you're going to get whenever you dip into your powder. You're going to have bulky powder on your nail, and it's going to be that much more file time for you. So just make it easier on yourself, and just remember, you put it on thick and even, thin and even, then you get thin and even layers. So I'm a Big Teal is such a pretty color. So the owner of Cali Girl Nail Dips, her name is Liza Licini. Excuse me. She's originally from California, hence Cali Girl, and she now lives in Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. That's 2 coats. I think that's 2 coats if I'm a Big Teal, and it's very thin. So the dip base for Cali Girl is very thin. It's a very, very thin formula, and it's a bit of a learning curve for some, just because it can kind of get away from you. You know, if you're not too careful, it could potentially flood your cuticles. Now, it didn't flood for me, and this was my first time using them. So, but they were thinner than what I'm accustomed to. I use Virgo and Gem, triple vitamin, those, um, the essentials, and so that's what I'm used to. And so whenever I started using Cali Girls, it was different, and I could tell. So I kind of edited how I apply to compensate for it being a different product. But it's a great base nonetheless. It's thin, therefore you get thin application, leads to thin layers, leads to less file time, which I love because I'm lazy. So it's a really great base. It's quick drying, but as you can see later on in the video, I'm still able to apply nail art with it. So it's not too quick. It doesn't have as long of a dry time as, let's say, triple vitamin, but let's say it's slightly faster than Virgo and Gem. We'll go with that. Okay, so far, I've done basic application with the Infinity and Beyond Duo Solid on my thumb, and I'm a Big Teal on my index and my pinky. Okay, and then we'll be going in next to do the marbling. All right, so as you guys watch me do that, and as you can see, I'm going around every single time with the toothpick. I want to make sure that my lines around my cuticles are crisp and clean, and there's no product stuck to my skin, because when it comes time to file, you could potentially hurt yourself. So we want to make sure that's nice and clean and crisp. And that's why I keep going in with my nippers every now and then. I'm not taking any skin off. I'm just grabbing the product just to make sure that I'm left with those clean lines. And we're doing that before we activate, because once we activate, it's there, buddy. It's there. All right, so now I'm gonna go in, and at first I put the Infinity and Beyond Duo in my cupcake liner, and then as you'll see, I changed my mind because I just have a mini of the Infinity and Beyond Duo Solid, and that's not that much. And so whenever you're doing a marbling, it tends to waste a little bit of product. So this was at the very end of my double dipped clear jar, and I have another one. You'll see me pull that out, but I decided to do clear for my marbling base instead of the Infinity Duo Solid, and I actually dip my finger in the Infinity Duo Solid, which will waste less product, and I'll get the result that I was wanting. So I put my clear down in my cupcake liner, right? And then I kind of scooped little dollops of the Infinity Duo Solid. I'm doing the same thing with the I'm a Big Teal now. And then I'm going to go in with Vintage Rose and do the same with Vintage Rose. And this is a very pretty color. It's an extremely dark, deep plum color. Whenever there's like 3 layers on the swatcher on the nail, it's almost black. It's gorgeous. But I only did a little bit of this because I just wanted to add depth and dimension and kind of cut the blue in the marbling. But I also wanted to use the colors that I was using throughout my mani as well. So I just took a toothpick and I'm just kind of swirling the colors around. And then I'm going to flatten it out a little bit in the cupcake liner. And then now I'm going to do my dips with the Infinity and Beyond Solid. So Liza Lucini is a very hardworking woman. She has 4 kids and she actually homeschools her younger 2. And she is creative and she does everything and accomplishes everything while still being able to put a smile on her face, be involved in her Facebook group, and create magic in a jar. I don't know how she does it, but she's a very, very courageous, strong woman, and a very good role model for her kids. So, okay, so I went in with 1 coat of the Infinity and Beyond Duo Solid on my middle finger. I'm going to go in with a 2nd coat just to make sure I achieve somewhat of the opacity that I would like. I mean, I would like for it to be obvious that the background for the marbling is blue and not white. So 2 coats helps me achieve that. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to apply my base coat, and then I'm going to lay down in the marble mixture twice. So as you guys watch me do that, I'm going to go ahead and read something that Liza typed up here about her business. So she says, I started making dips because I didn't want to pay for all the different dips that I felt like I just had to have. I figured why not try to make them myself. Once I got started, I realized that I really enjoyed mixing and creating more than I enjoyed actually dipping my nails. As I hadn't worked for close to 7 years, so I was super excited to have the ability to make some money and contribute to our family while still being able to stay home with my 4 kids. Since I got started, I have been working my butt off. I am literally working around the clock at every extra moment I can find. It's super rewarding for me to see people wearing my dips and enjoying all my hard work. I was really to the point in my life where I was sure I would never be able to work again, and it made me feel kind of lost. This dip business has given me a sense of direction again, and I freaking love it. Well, Liza, it's obvious that you love it. It definitely shows through in the products that you create, and it shows through in the relationships that you build with your customers. So if you guys are not a part of the Cali Girl No Dips Facebook group, I strongly encourage you to be, because Liza is extremely involved with her customers, direct communication, as am I. I try to make my presence there known on a daily basis. I'm not always successful, but if you're not a part of that group, I strongly suggest that you do join. So yes, that is the last of my clear from Double Dipped, but voila, I have another jar. So we're going to go through and we're going to clear cap all of my solid nails, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the glitter nail. And clear capping and activating the nails prior to doing that ensures that you will not get any glitter in your solid nails, because that would drive me nuts. Excuse me. So I do use double dipped clear. It is the clearest of all the clear in all Clearland. I love this clear dip. It's my favorite. A close contender is Skyline Soapworks. They are very similar and both extremely clear. So I'm going through and doing the same application with the clear that I did with the color dip. I'm just doing a full application of the base, thin and even, cuticle to free edge, and dipping directly into the clear, going around the cuticle line with the toothpick. It can be kind of repetitive, but you want to make sure that you stay I guess involved or don't check out is what I'm trying to say, because a lot of times you can get on autopilot and you can end up making a mistake or making a rookie mistake, or flooding your cuticle or gluing yourself to yourself. It happens. But though repetitive, you do want to make sure that you stay tuned in to what you're doing. Okay, that one, and then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the pinky here, cuticle to free edge, thin and even again, just to make sure that we have that same thin and even application. Excuse me. Okay, and now I'm going to go through with the activator. So the activator is a great activator. It works very, very, very well. It does have a bit of a scent to it. Now, it's not overly aggressive. It's not overpowering whatsoever. But it reminds me a lot of the Tamika activator, if you've ever tried that one, where it just has a little bit of a scent, but nothing overpowering, nothing that, it didn't make my eyes water, it didn't make me cough, it didn't make my nose burn, it didn't do anything like that. None of these liquids did. And it works very, very well. And so I actually go through and do 2 coats of activator on my nails just to make sure they're nice and cured. I want to make sure that it gets through all the layers, cures everything completely to where it's solid and makes it ready for filing and buffing without it damaging too much of my color. That's the point of the clear cap, as well, as to prevent any intrusion from any glitter pieces, but also to protect your color while you're filing and buffing. Some colors can get distorted whenever you're doing that. So the green brush that you keep seeing me use is a stiff bristle brush, and I do use that just to avoid any unnecessary bulk and particles being stuck to the nails. And this is the Infinity and Beyond Duo glitter. So prior to doing my glitter application, I always do a layer of clear, whether it's on my nails, whether it's on a swatch stick, doesn't matter to me. I do a layer of clear first because glitter does not like to stick to smooth surfaces. A swatch stick, a nail, stuff like that. It just doesn't like to. So with your first application of glitter without a clear base down, it's going to be patchy. It's going to be inconsistent, which leads to patchy and inconsistent layers to follow. So I just put down a clear base to protect my nail from the glitter as well, to protect it from any damage or anything like that, and also to make sure that my first dip of glitter is more consistent, it's more opaque, it covers more ground, so to speak. And it just leads to thinner and easier application all around. When you're working with chunky glitter, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass. And so anything to make it easier, well, hell, why not? So as you can see, I placed my base coat down thin and even, just like on all the other nails, and then I just lay my nail flat into the glitter. I find that doing this, you lay your nail flat into the glitter lays flat onto your nail. So I figure that, a little bit of tapping here and there to assist them in laying flat is all that it takes if you lay flat into the glitter initially. So it makes for a much easier application, and in case we haven't noticed yet, Liz is lazy. So anything to make my job easier, I'm all about it. I do 2 layers of glitter just to make sure that I get that opacity and the strength that I'm looking for. And in some cases, like this one, as you'll see, I do double clear cap, which means I clear cap twice. And that's also to protect the glitters from filing and buffing, also to assist in a thin and even application, and leads to thin and even and consistent outcome. So, and then I do still go around my cuticle line with the toothpick with my glitters as well, especially more than as well, especially with glitters, because a piece of a glitter can adhere to the nail, and depending on what part of the glitter that's adhered to the nail can lead to glitters kind of what am I trying to say, sticking out from the side walls or the ledge of the tip of your free edge, or around your cuticle line. You could have pieces of glitter protruding out and kind of overlapping your cuticle line, leading for not clean application, not clean lines, and could look not as professionally done, which, let's face it, I'm not a professional, you're not a professional. We're DIYers, so, but we want to make it look as crisp and clean as we can. So, and I haven't mentioned it, but dusting off between layers is crucial as well. Also leads to thin application, and it reduces the amount of bulk, like unnecessary bulk in product that's going to be stuck to your nail, making your file time easier. So dusting off, and I mean like dusting off. Not just a little swipe here and there. No, like I dust off. I scrub off. That's what I should call it. So that was my first clear cap. I did full application, dipped into the clear, dust off very well. And I'm just going through and I'm still tapping down any glitters that are kind of sticking up a little bit. And did you see that? I actually knocked over my bottle of base and it was open, but the bottle of base didn't spill, which I loved. Now, these are glass bottles. Her liquids are in glass bottles, which is awesome. But they also don't have a wiper insert, which can be good for some and some may not like. A wiper insert does limit the amount of liquids that you bring out, leading to thinner application. However, it also tends to cause the bottles to get glued shut easier. So I like that there's no wiper insert in her bottles. I like that they're glass bottles. I like that that's thin application. I like that the activator just has a subtle smell. I like her liquids very much. So I did clear cap and I'm going in with a triple or quadruple layer of activator for the glitter nail just to make sure that it does cure completely. That way I don't have to worry about any product flying off whenever I am filing. So the nails that I had filed earlier, whenever you apply activator, you do need to wait 2 minutes for it to completely cure. After I applied activator on these initial nails, I did my glitter nails, so it was plenty of time way past the 2 minutes. So I'm going to go in with my file, and this is a file from Cali Nail Dips. I believe it's a 100-180 grit. It doesn't indicate on the file, but that's what I believe it is. And right now I'm just priming it or seasoning it. And when you get a new file, you do want to make sure you go around the ledges with an older file, just kind of doling out the ledge of the file all the way around on both sides. And this will help prevent you from cutting yourself. Files can be very dangerous and you can hurt yourself. So you do want to make sure that you file your edges all the way around and prime it before you use it. So as you can see, I do go around the ledges and the sidewalls of my nails. I also go around the cuticle line very gently just to make sure that there's no more product that I may have missed while doing my toothpick method. That there's no product that's kind of adhering my cuticle skin to the actual nail. So I'm doing it very gently. You can cut yourself doing that, so just go slow, be careful. As you get more comfortable, then you'll be able to know where to place your file comfortably and be able to go a little bit quicker. So it's all a process. It's a learning process and you learn with experience. So the more experience you have, the more you learn and you'll be more comfortable and be able to do it quicker. Now I did speed up this video. I'm not really going that fast, but I am going at a comfortable speed for myself. And I sped it up because, let's face it, neither one of us want to sit here for an hour and have me talk your ear off and have you watch me do my nails. So, make it quick and painless. And usually the glitter nail does require the most of the filing just because of the bulk and it tends to be uneven towards the top only because of the glitter pieces, but once you file that down, it'll be smooth and the application will be the way that you want it to be. So yes, as you can see, Cali Nail Dips has everything. Her website is www.caligirlnaildips.com. And she has duster brushes, she's got files, she's got jars, empty jars. She has dips, she's got solids, glitters, powders, fine glitters, chunky glitters, mix of glitters. She has a very wide variety selection of gorgeous, gorgeous options. I mean, they're beautiful. I have the majority of her colors, and most of them I did by myself. So by choice, I use her dips on a regular basis. So I love her products very much. And her dips are they're priced fairly. Like, for example, her minis are $6.50, if I'm not mistaken. And they go up to, she has duos, which are 2 dips, 1 glitter, 1 solid. And those are $10 for 2 dips. That's $5 a piece. And then her liquids for the set, and they're only being sold as a set right now. They may be sold as individuals in the future, but for now they are sold as a set. And for all 3 liquids, it's $24. That's not bad at all. That is a very good price for liquids. And they're 15 ml bottles. And they're glass. You can't do much better than that. So go check her out, CaliGirlNailDips.com, all one word. And if you do place an order, make sure you use my discount code. It is Mama2Crazy5, just like my YouTube handle here, all one word, no spaces, and that'll save you 10%. She was very gracious in creating that discount code just for my viewers. So I really do appreciate that. She's such a sweet lady. She works so hard. I know I already said that, but she works so hard. And she creates such amazing product. I don't know how she does it. I really don't. And if you if you are on the Facebook group page, then you see I post mani pics damn near daily, and majority of them are using Cali Girls products. I use them by choice, and I may be her ambassador, and I'm also an ambassador for another company as well. They're both small businesses. I love shopping small. You just get better customer service, better product. They're more humble. I really love shopping small. So I'm going in right now with my arbor band, and I am filing off majority of the bulk of the nail. And this is just to make sure that everything is smooth, everything is even, that I get the application and the end result that I want. And I have it set to a 7. This is my Melody Susie portable hand file. I'm sorry, portable e-file. And my arbor band. I'm not sure what the grit is on the arbor band. It came with one of my old files, so, and it was just all together, so it didn't really specify. But it's not too coarse of a grit. I know it's not like, 80. It's probably a 180. Could be wrong, but that'd be my guess. And so as you see, I do keep turning my nail different directions, multiple directions, just to see from different angles exactly what we're working with. So the product can lay inconsistently as far as being even goes, and so there are certain spots that may need more attention than other areas just to make sure that you get the results that you want. So just make sure you're turning your nail around different angles, making sure you're filing where most of the bulk is just to even it out, and that'll help prevent overfiling as well. And so make sure you start slow with your e-file though, because you could really hurt yourself. So make sure you start at a low speed, start slow, and as you get more comfortable, you can go up from there. But honest, I don't see why these nail files are like 300 RPM or 3000 RPM. I don't see why anybody would need 3000 RPM e-file unless they're taking their fingers off. So, all right, so I'm switching it out to my diamond barrel drill bit. And what this is going to do is this is going to go around the cuticle line and the sidewalls just to help even out the lines there, just to make it look somewhat more natural looking. Now, as you can see, I do lean more towards the acrylic look, more so than the natural look, but I don't want it to look bulky. And so going around the cuticle line with this bit helps me achieve my crisp clean lines that I've been trying to achieve the entire process. And it helps smooth everything out. This almost acts as a buffer. I will still go in and buff after this, but it does work as a buffer, especially if used after the arbor band. It helps smooth everything, and that way you can really see where the bulk is left, and then it can also help take care of the remaining bulk without you having to switch your drill bit again. So it's a really great bit, and I mean, any of these things you can really hurt yourself. So just be careful again. Make sure you're comfortable with the speed you have it at. As you see, I do have it as a slower speed than I did when I was using my arbor band, and that's just because this is a diamond barrel bit. I mean, it could hurt me, and so I want to make sure that I don't hurt myself, but I'm still able to achieve what I'm wanting to with my end result. So yes, small businesses. I do love small businesses. I love to shop small. What do you prefer? Do you prefer shopping large companies for dip products? Do you feel like you get better products that way, and better service that way? Or do you prefer shopping small? I find personally, I prefer shopping small. I feel like the shipping times are much quicker. The communication from the owners or sellers is much better. And I feel like the product that you receive is It's better product to me. It just seems not so made for distribution, for lack of a better word. Things that are made for distribution, it's made in bulk, and it's made not in small batches to where it's more personal. And so small business owners, that's literally their bread and butter, and so they treat it as such, not like an order number. So that's what I like about shopping small. So now I'm going to go in with my buffer. It's a 100 and 180 nail file that I got off of Amazon. It's not, I mean, the 180 side, it wouldn't be able to file anything. I can't even use it to file glitter off my nail that got glued to my nail. But the buffer is awesome. I love it. It's smooth. It's not as coarse as like a polar block, but it's a smooth buffer and it gives me the smooth finish that I am wanting. So smooth finish will assist in helping create most of the shine for your dip powder nails. Now this nail was kind of giving me a bit of a hard time, and I'm not sure why. It was the marbled nail, so it's not like there was chunky glitter or anything, but there was just, I could feel it through the buffer that there was like rough spots that I just couldn't seem to get out for a while. So that's what you're seeing. I'm kind of like focusing in on like, what the hell is going on here? So so usually I do gel top coat whenever I'm finishing up my manis, but today, because of the product review, I am going to use the top coat from Cali Nail Dips. And whenever you are doing a dip liquid system top coat, you do want to make sure that you buff really well. You want to have a very smooth finish to make sure that that is the outcome that you have whenever you are using the top coat as well. If it's like still bumpy or gritty or rough, that's going to be your outcome whenever you do your top coat. So it's not like gel. It doesn't kind of take its own shape. It conforms itself to the shape that's already there. So you want to make sure that shape is smooth and even and kind of the way that you want it to be whenever you're done placing your top coat on. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going through buffing really well. With the marble nail, the reason why I used the vintage rose and used it just in that and not anywhere else in my mani is because, again, it was just intended to create that depth in the marbling, and it worked really, really well. It was the perfect color to do that because vintage rose is a very deep plum, so blue and purple are kind of close together in the color family scale, and so because of that, it did still cut through all the blue that I was using on my nails, and but not take away from the blue either. It didn't steal the show or anything, so that was the whole purpose of me using vintage rose. All right, so I washed my hands, soap and water, and then now I'm going to go through and I'm going to cleanse them with my alcohol prep pad. This is just to dehydrate the acrylic for the next step in the application, and also to sanitize my nails. Even though I use soap and water, I do want to make sure that they are sanitized before I start applying any of my product brushes to them. And it also removes any left behind, particles or product or anything like that that could have gone on the nail from a towel or anything. So I'm going to go through and put a quick application of the activator on the nails. As you saw, I did get a towel ready for wiping purposes, but after you apply the activator, you do want to let it set for about 2 minutes. So all I'm doing here is getting my top coat ready to go. We have to kill 2 minutes here, so I did start reading the labels. And one thing I did notice about the labels that was kind of odd is that, the top coat and the base coat, they're essentially the same thing. I mean, they can be interchanged. I've done it before. But the activator is very different. The activator does a very different job than those two. Yet all three of them have the same label with the same description. I found it interesting. I was just reading up on that. So, but now I'm wiping off very well using the lint-free cloth. I'm wiping each nail off to remove any excess activator that could have been left behind, because you want to limit the amount of activator that the top coat comes into contact with, because it will cause your brush to harden. So when you're doing the top coat, you do 2 layers, but you go through with the first layer and do quick strokes, 2 to 3 strokes per nail, very quick, and then you want to wipe off that brush as quickly as possible to prevent the contamination. So going through quick swipes, wipe the hell out of the brush. That's the only way you're going to avoid your brush from getting hard or any activator from making its way into your top coat and contaminating your entire bottle. I've had that happen before. The entire bottle solidified inside of the bottle, brush and all. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen, and it fell over before I solidified it. So it was like halfway full brush, everything solid on the inside. Craziness. So with the second application, after you complete your first, you can see that there's kind of like a drying skin that appears on the top of the top coat. That's whenever you know you're ready for your second layer. Okay, if you do it like this, you will get a shiny outcome every time. If you wait too long, you risk it dry and cloudy, so, or splotchy or inconsistent, and we don't want that. So with your second layer, you can be slower, more meticulous, more detailed. You don't have to be as quick because you already have that first layer on there to act as a barrier between the activator and the second layer. As you can see though, I am still wiping off my brush very well between coats. Before I put it back in my bottle, I wipe it off. It's a habit that I have formed. It's a good habit to have, and it's a good preventative measure to just prevent headache and stress and pissed off cicity. That's not a thing. Anyway, so that was my 2 coats, and now we're just going to wait for it to dry. And I sped this up too, so it's not real time, but you're just going to see me lollygagging around, waiting for it to dry, because I wanted it to be an honest review. I wanted you to see, you know, now we wait. We wait for it to dry. We want to see what it looks like while it's drying. As you can see, it's very glossy. It's very shiny. It works very well. There's no splotchiness. There's no dull spots. There's no cloudiness anywhere. It works really, really well. Still wet, so we're still going to wait a little bit. Oh. Hey, knock it off. Knock it off.
Get in here.
Okay. Sorry.
Go.
Like I said, I'm at home, so we made it this long. So, okay. So it should be dry now. So as you can see, it's very shiny. It's a very shiny top coat. It works very well. All of the liquids work very, very well. All of the products and the powders that I used today were all Cali Girl nail dips. They all worked extremely well. I love this company oh so very much. I strongly suggest them to anyone and everyone. Remember www.caligirlnaildips.com. If you place an order, use my discount code MAMA2CRAZY5, all together one word, lowercase, no spaces, and you'll save 10%. Yep, so it's dry. It is all good to go, and then we'll be ready for the last step in the application process, which is cuticle oil. Extremely important, especially for whenever you're using alcohol prep pads, activator, anything like that, you know, that'll dry out your skin. It just will. So you want to make sure you go through and kind of lather up with cuticle oil, and then you're good to go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this. As you can see, I'm running out of time with my background noise, but thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know, and y'all have a great day.